Well, just, it's disappointing. We're a poor defensive team right now, and we're searching for stuff at that end. We're way too easy to play against. We're making scatter report mistakes, effort mistakes, and you know what? I don't think we're a very tough team right now. You know what? We had a lot of shots in the paint offensively that we just weren't finishing very tough. And both ends of the floor, you look back at the Drake weekend and at this one tonight, teams are tougher and more physical than us, and guys got to change that. We're making a lot of mistakes and not very difficult to play against right now.
When I talked to Tyreek and Cooper both, they both mentioned scouting report mistakes and they took accountability for it. Is there anything in particular in the scouting report that these guys are getting tripped on, or is it some way that they're absorbing it? I mean, because that seems to be a common refrain out of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything, Todd, and it's not one certain thing. It's whether how to defend one individual, how to defend a certain action that they're guarding. And, we're not doing it right near enough. You need to do that right. If you make a mistake sometime, it's an effort mistake. The stuff like that happens, but we have too many guys making too many mistakes about it. And then, defense is something where you have to have multiple efforts. It's not just the initial stuff that they start; it's throughout a possession, and we're not doing that. We're not being near resilient enough, and until we change that, the result's not going to change.
I'm not necessarily trying to place blame on Jake and Trey, but picking up a foul on the first possession was not helpful. It kind of threw you off kilter a little bit because then you can't play defense as hard as maybe you want to, as much of a load as Gage Prim is regardless. I mean, how much is that affecting the stability a little bit? Because the early fouls are, it messes up the rotation. It messes up a lot of things.
Yeah, I agree, Todd, and maybe that's my fault for starting the game, running something for Jake or running something for Tyreek, because they have got offensive fouls, and you have to be able to play off both feet. We go in there out of control off 1 foot, and I mean, I don't know how many shots we missed in the lane tonight. We missed a ton, and you got to go in there, play off both feet, more like Missouri State's is doing, and then get to the free throw line. It's hard. It's going to be hard for us if Jake and Trey are out of there, just like if Tyreek or Coop is out of there. So these guys got to be able to play without fouling, because I promise you the other team is coming at them. Like right now, we don't have a D stopper. I mean, we don't have anybody to say, hey, you go guard Mosley, you go guard Prim, and we feel comfortable with it. We're going to have to become a much better team, defending team, but it's up to each individual to take more of a challenge and be tougher.
Can you hear me okay? Because my internet is being weird.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I think it's on my end. The start was bad, obviously, and defensively, it looked like it certainly affected the offense too. Saw some shots that were rushed and a little bit of pressing and all that. I mean, does that just kind of go hand in hand with the bad defense a little bit?
Yeah, Todd, this happens, and throughout any coach's tenure, guys miss shots or there's mistakes on the offense. They let down too much not everybody, but guys do let down. They hang their head and they compound the mistake, and we are certainly guilty of that. We had open shots, we had shots in the paint to start the game, and they weren't going in. Then you better go down to that other end and really dig in and make it tough on them, and we're not. They had 2 or 3 7-0 runs in the first half. I mean, we give up 50 points. We outscore them in the second half 45-35, but if you give up 50 at half, you're probably not going to have a chance to win it. So disappointing for sure. I like these guys. I think we're going to get there, but we gotta come together and start becoming more of a team again. Otherwise, the result's going to stay the same.
You did come together a little in the second half, and you hate to make too much of a big deal out of it. I mean, not to denigrate it either. I mean, you did cut the lead down to 10 a couple times, a couple possession here and there. Maybe you get back into it. Anything you derive from that at all? You did switch the defense a little bit, ran some pressure in there that did seem to speed Missouri State up.
We're just going to have to try everything, Todd. You know, when you're down like you were at halftime, you to get back in it, you're going to have to speed up the other team, create more possessions, and I thought we did that, and we're fighting harder on the defensive end. You know, there's a lot of, you just can look at the stat sheet and you can tell pretty easily where the game is won and lost. But you know, I'm not much of one to give credit on in the second half if you really start fighting and competing after you just got your butt whooped in the first half. You know, that's, anybody can do that. You're down 20 or up 20. It's pretty easy, and we got to play, you know, a better 40 minutes as a unit, and that's what we got to work on.